Here we are again in the car. Difference today is it's the weekend. I took the weekend for myself. My daughter was not with me this weekend, which gave me a little time alone. And I suppose I probably could have utilized that to get some more work done around the house. I did a little, not a ton. Started to get some supplies together to build my new chicken coop. Yes, I have chickens, and I like my chickens. I apologize for all the wobbliness in the video. I'm gonna have to work on getting a better mount. So anyway, it's Sunday. I've got the dog with me. All I gotta do is say it's time for going for a ride, and he's all about it. Luckily, he doesn't say much. Strong but silent type. But there was a couple things I wanted to address from last week. It wasn't exactly all personal stuff. It's absolutely, we're in this housing market that has kind of been flipping people out, and I just wanted to address some things that I was following, or I should say I was perusing some of my friends' Facebook posts and some of the comments that were being thrown up on these Facebook posts. People were saying, oh no, I can't afford a house anymore, and all these interest rates, and woe is me. Alright, I get it. The interest rates went up. But all is not lost. Alright, so I'm not a math guru. In fact, math is the single reason why I didn't have my degree for many, many years. And it took a lot of adulting, and I do mean a whole lot of growing up and adulting, to actually go back and get my bachelor's degree. We'll see about the master's. I'm not so sure. Still not so sure about that one. But anyway, math. However, I do listen to the people who have proven to be very good at math. And that's who I turn to when things like this happen. When the interest rates climb, when whatever stuff's going on. There's people that are successful in whatever market, whatever's going on. They got it going on. You know who these people are. You hear about it. If you follow any market at all, you'll hear these people talk about what's going on. And really, if you listen to them and listen to how they evaluate the market, it makes a lot of sense, and it's really not that difficult. It's just putting everything into perspective, and quite frankly, here's the big part, is actually doing the research, which, let's face it, most of us are too lazy to do. So I'll listen to theirs. Look at this guy. Hey, look at this guy. Yeah. So he wants to be on camera. So basically, what this guy was breaking down is that, okay, with these interest rates and with the corresponding, you don't have to be freaking out about buying a house. In fact, those of you who are squealing about how they can no longer afford a house, you probably already couldn't afford a house. Okay, you couldn't afford the initial outlay of cash that you're going to take in that extreme seller's market. Okay, because let's face it, if you could have afforded a house when the interest rates were so very low, you already would have bought it. Okay, I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings here. I'm just being honest. All right, if you couldn't afford it then, well, maybe you need to reevaluate your answers, unless you're just using that as an excuse to join the conversation. I mean, maybe that's it. But so here's the reality of it. Prices are regulating. With the interest rates climbing, prices are regulating. We're no longer getting 150% of asking price on homes. Right? In fact, sellers are getting right about 100 to 101% of what they're asking, and that's probably going to go down a little bit. You know, there's actually more room for negotiations now, which is where having a qualified real estate professional is very, very important. Because there's going to be some more bargaining room, and there's not going to be 5, 6, 7, 8 people trying to get the same house within the first hour it goes on the market, if it even hits the market. All right, we're doing something a little bit different. So now, if your credit's good and you can get your loan, you're actually in a good shape, because you're buying what these houses, you're buying into that market. You're buying, but you're not buying at a price higher than you should. All right, the market's no longer elevated. That's actually good. That's good for especially the buyer. Right now, the market's great for both parties, because it's starting to find an equilibrium. But on to why it's good for the buyer. All right, historically, when interest rates climb like this, the asking price of property regulates itself down lower to a price where that property can be sold. So you're starting to see the equilibrium in the pricing. What's going to happen, and I shouldn't say what's going to happen, because I don't have a crystal ball. I mean, I can rub this head as much as I want. It's still not a crystal ball. What's going to happen, or what has happened in the past, what I should say, and this is the accurate statement. Historically, what happens is you will see a little bit of an elevated loan interest rate for the next couple years, 1 to 2 years. All right. At which time the interest rates will begin to fall, and those people who are able to purchase housing at a decent cost, a decent price, and they may have a little bit higher rate, they will be able to refinance at a lower rate. They just have to pay that extra for 1 or 2 years. Now, this is where it's great. Let's just say a $600,000 home, and I'm not saying all of you can afford a $600,000 home. I know I can't. All right, but on a $600,000 home, 9 months ago, that $600,000 home was actually going for about $720,000. Could you afford a $720,000 home? Most definitely. I mean, that's going to put you an extra $120,000 on a house. That's insane over what it's really worth, at least to you. All right. So now, over the course of time, let's say you get it back down to $600,000. You pay a little bit more in interest, but still, by the time you're done, you refinance in 1.5, 2 years. You could save upwards of $100,000 on the cost of that home long term, because you're not paying that initial high price. All right. I probably need to find some sort of reference for you to look at, but that's basically what these interest rates and house pricing gurus are extolling, because that is what normally happens. That's what usually happens. All right, so I'm on the way to pick up my girl. I'm about to get off on the exit to go get her, get my little one, see her, reunite her with the dog. Everyone's going to be happy. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, what there is of it, and I'll see you again later this week. Take care.